Most people believe one comforting idea. If I experience something and I remember it, then it must be true. Psychological science says otherwise. Your brain is not a truth machine, it is a survival prediction system. Evolution did not reward humans for accuracy, it rewarded humans for speed, pattern recognition, energy efficiency, emotional coherence. If believing a slightly wrong story kept you functional, calm, and socially accepted, that belief survived. This is why memory feels real but isn't reliable. Confidence feels convincing but proves nothing. Forgetting feels like failure but is actually necessary. To understand this, we need to break the brain into three systems: how it learns, how it forgets, how it distorts reality. How the brain learns, the science. Learning is a physical change, not information storage. In psychology, learning is defined as a relatively permanent change in behavior or knowledge due to experience. That change is literal. Learning happens through synaptic plasticity, changes in strength of connections between neurons. When two neurons fire together repeatedly, the synapse between them strengthens, neurotransmitter releases become more efficient. The brain makes the pathway more likely to activate again. This mechanism is called long term potentiation, LTP. No repetition, no LTP. No LTP, no learning. Why emotion supercharges learning? The brain does not treat all information equally. When emotion is involved, the amygdala activates and signals the hippocampus. This matters. Save this. That's why you remember embarrassing moments vividly. You remember emotional conversations word for word. You forget neutral information quickly. This is called emotionally modulated memory consolidation. In simple terms, emotion is a highlighter pen for the brain. Why multitasking kills learning? Psychology has proven this repeatedly. Your brain cannot truly multitask. What it does instead is rapid task switching with cognitive cost each time. This cost is called attention residue. When attention is divided, encoding into long term memory weakens, learning becomes shallow, recall becomes fragile. That's why you read but don't remember. You watch but don't absorb. You study but blank out later. Why the brain forgets? Forgetting is an active process. Early psychologists believed forgetting happened because memories faded. Modern neuroscience shows forgetting is active, not passive. The brain uses synaptic pruning, weakening or removing unused neural connections. Why? The brain consumes 20% of your body's energy. It must stay efficient. Unused connections are metabolically expensive. So the brain asks, is this information still predictive of the future? If not, it gets pruned. The Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. One of the most important findings in psychology is Hermann Ebbinghaus showed we forget 50% of new information within 24 hours, 70% within a week, unless it is revised. The forgetting curve explains why cramming fails, why spaced repetition works, why daily revision is powerful. Forgetting is default, remembering requires intervention. Motivated forgetting, when the brain protects the ego. This is where psychology gets uncomfortable. The brain suppresses memories that threaten identity, cause guilt or shame, create internal conflict. This is linked to the prefrontal cortex inhibiting hippocampal retrieval, known as retrieval suppression. You're not choosing to forget. Your brain is choosing emotional stability over accuracy. That's why if people forget their own mistakes, rewrite personal history, believe they tried their best even when they didn't. Memory is not recording. The hippocampus is a storyteller, not a camera. Memory retrieval does not replay stored footage. Instead, the hippocampus reconstructs memory fragments using emotion, context, and expectation, filling gaps automatically. This process is called reconstructive memory. Every time you remember something, the memory becomes unstable. It gets updated, then reconsolidated, meaning each recall slightly rewrites the memory. False memories are easy to create. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus described that people can be convinced they experienced events that never happened simply through suggestion. Why? The brain prioritizes coherence over truth. A complete story feels better than an accurate one. That's why confidence is not evidence. Why the brain lies without knowing it's lying. Lying implies intent. The brain isn't lying, it's predicting. The brain constantly asks, what interpretation best fits my existing model of the world? This leads to cognitive biases. The big biases that run your life. Confirmation bias. You search for information that confirms beliefs. You dismiss contradictory evidence. This reduces mental effort and emotional discomfort. Hindsight bias. After an event, the brain rewrites the past. I knew this would happen. This protects self image. Loss aversion. Losses feels 2 to 2.5 times more painful than gains feel pleasurable. This explains fear of investing, resistance to change, over attachment to bad decisions. These biases are not flaws, they are energy saving shortcuts. Why this matters? Understanding this changes how you learn, argue, judge others, trust your own certainty. Stop asking why am I like this and start asking what is my brain optimizing right now? Truth, comfort, efficiency, belonging. Awareness doesn't remove bias, it slows it down. And slowing down is the only way humans ever override instinct. Your brain learns by rewiring, forgets by design, distorts to project stability. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. The danger isn't that brain lies. The danger is believing it never does. Once you accept that, you become more curious, less arrogant, more careful with certainty. Because the brain's job is not truth, it's survival. And survival prefers a good story over a perfect one.